Okay, before we resume learning Mulefes Sappirim, we want the schus of the Zohar Kodesh to be a schus for Chayalei Tzal Bifrad and Am Yisrael Bichlal. Um, so I just want to, announce that we started new shiurim. In addition to everything that we're doing, for the matziv, we started learning Mishlei with Bira Grow. We had our first session today. It's here on the channel. Baruch Hashem. It's sad that the matzav was ma'ur us, but Baruch Hashem, we're responding and we're producing shurim very rapidly every day, and it's coming up faster than my webmaster Tzvila Bekin can post it to the site. So just subscribe to the channel and check in on the channel daily. So we started a new series with Mishlei Bira Gra. And also, there's going to be a special presentation. I can't say exactly whether it's any time from Wednesday night onwards. Something, sponsored by my friend Earl Dukes Roberts. A special presentation on the laws of Hilchos Milchama on Shabbos. Some of the halachic issues soldiers are facing, particularly with Shmira Shabbos, and can they do literally anything? Are there any Hilchos Shabbos on a soldier out in the field? We will discuss that, and please just stay subscribed to the channel. You get notification of when that special presentation will be released. Okay, without further ado, we're in, it's Yom HaChamishi entry Chavtes. The mitzvah sukkah, right? So we say over here the Shlomo Gaz being malakate zohars that are shavachol nefesh on mitzvahs that apply around the calendar. So now we're in sukkah mitzvah. So kosav b'sefer vayikra daf kuf gimel rav so zohar chel gimel daf kuf gimel beis ksiv basukas teishvu, right? The pasuk kind of repeats that. It says basukas teishvu shivaseren kol azach beisol yeshu basukas. Sit in sukkah. All Jewish citizens should sit in sukkah. Why is that? Shvus teishvu and then yeshu basukas. Ramas ki biyom hasukas b'hem orchim letocha sukkah. This is the makor of the Zohar. This Zohar is the source of ushpizin. Right? Where does it come from? That there are guests, we sit. Basukas teishvu is us. That calls out all Jewish will sit in sukkah. That includes our, the ushpizin, the departed tzaddikim. They come visit us in sukkah. Let's go sukkahs b'hem orchim. This is this yeshu basukas that says the end of the pasuk. All Jewish citizens will sit in sukkah is a remez that we have on sukkahs. We have the guests that come to sukkah. Who are the guests? Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, v'chol tzaddikim. Yitzchak, Yaakov, and all the other tzaddikim, which include Moshe, Aaron, Yosef, and David. This Zohar is the source of ushpizin. So Rav Amnuna, the elder, he was so happy and stood on the on sukkahs and stood at the open sukkah bivnim on the inside, because he's like inviting the guests in. So he's the balabais on the entrance sukkah from the inside. V'omer says ushpuz milyonim shvu, heavenly guests sit. Now you have to, if you want the heavenly guests, you also have to have earthly guests, and a person should invite poor people to a sukkah. Now the Torah does not demand for you to spend more than what you could afford, but rather everyone, as far as give a gift that you could afford. Right, so you should have aniyim not above your means, but have aniyim as guests for your sukkah to the extent that you could afford. You should know what the aniyim eat there. They're eating from the portion of the ushpizin. I mean, the ushpizin, the food you're giving the aniyim is really the food that you're giving the ushpizin. The ushpizin are enjoying the meal, but in what manner do the ushpizin, who are already in heaven, they already don't have a body as we know it, in what way are they enjoying the your hospitality? They live, as it were, vicariously through the, if lack of a better way of explaining it, through the aniyim that are enjoying it. The ushpizin are like there and partaking in the meal. But if you're not going to bring joy to the aniyim, I'll have a kasa omer. On them, such a person who says, I throw like the feces of your holidays, meaning I don't even view it as food. If you're being stingy about the food, that food I view as like perish, like as I think it's feces. If you're being selfish with the food, then that food is disgusting to me, and I don't consider it that you're honoring me with the mitzvah of Simchas Yom Tov if you're being stingy with that food. So I throw away the feces of your holidays. And the ushpizin who may have come in, but you're being stingy with your food, they just leave. So if you want to talk in what order they leave, Avinu is the first one who gets up to leave if you're being stingy with your food, and says, what Moshe Rabbeinu said about the people or near Korach's encampment, leave the tent of this of these wicked people. So Avinu says it about your sukkah. He invokes that pasuk referring to you and your sukkah, right? Leave the tents of these evil people. And everyone follows Avinu out. Yitzchak says on his way out, Ubeten. Waiting for the page to turn. Oh, no, not again. We had this before. That Upetra Shrine Techsar. Now it changed. He says the stomachs of the evil should be lacking, right? That you won't be full. If you're stingy with your food, you won't be full. Yaakov Psach Pitra Achalta Tikiena, and Yaakov says a different pasuk. Your food that the bread that you ate, you should vomit up. Shazi Omrim and all the other tzaddikim, the other four ushpizin say, Kikoshos Mo Kivet Soa, right? All this, their tables. It's talking about tables set for Avodah Zarah. So as Teo said, so the Navi says about them, they are full of kivet soa, vomit and feces, right? Your Simchas Yom Tov food is viewed like vomit and feces if you're not sharing it. But it says, "V'yigof Hashem es Novo." Hashem, just like Hashem struck Novo and his household, so also you, Hashem Yatzilenu, Amen. God help us, please, right? So you can understand why this is a Zohar. They translate it so beautifully. He wants everyone to know this. V'samachta chagecha. We know Sukkot, as the Rambam writes in Hilchos Sukkah. It's very special. All the mitzvahs you chayav zilcha, but this was especially a Chag Sameach Zman Simchasenu. If your simcha is selfish, the Rebbe want and the ushpizin want no part of it. It's only if the simcha is shared with the needy that you're zocha to the ushpizin, and the Rebbe gets simcha from your simchas Yom Tov. Okay. So now Lamed, the mitzvah mezuzah, brings us a Zohar for the mitzvah mezuzah. Because the Sefer Dvarim, Daf Reish Samach Gimel Beis, so Zohar and what is Zohar Chel Gimel. So we reach Dvarim Reish Samach Gimel Beis. Shnitzel Kosev B'Sefer Shalom Melech Shalom, right? In one of the books of wisdom of Shalom Melech that we don't have anymore, but the Chabura of the Zohar had access to these books of wisdom of Shlomo Melech. The ones that didn't make it into the Tanakh, right? So it says over there, one of the books of the wisdom of Shlomo, right, that near the opening of the house, on the left side, Yesh Sar Shade Echad is one demon. Adam, right? Right, and that demon, God forbid, has the divine permission to hurt people, to hurt the man. Ken Shradam Sham Hakelis Roa Sheroa Hadam Sham Hakelis Baruch Umaskiro Eno Yochol Hashed Imo. But since man sees God through the mezuzah and is reminded of God, that's what the mezuzah does, reminds us of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu is seen and remembered with the mezuzah. So Eno Yochol Hashed Imo. So now the demon can't harm the man. Vim Torah, so you might ask like this, says the Zohar, Im ken kashi yotzad mi Pesach Beis, Asher omed letzad yamin, v'azuz letzad small. Listen, on your way in, right, 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 on the way in, it makes sense. Mezuzah on the right side, and the demon is on the left side, and you'll stick to the right. Yeah, that's right. That's a lesson for politics. Vote to the right. Don't be a leftist, right? So it all makes sense on the way in. On the way in, right? So you are on the right side, pun intended, right? And we said the demon is on the left, right? So you're sticking away from the demon to the side that reminds you of Hashem, right? But the thing is, the idea is that the left side is always associated with evil, but that's all, it depends where you're coming from. So going out in, so the left side is the opposite to mezuzah. You're sticking to right with the mezuzah, right? Right. But I'm Pesach but what happens when you leave your house? Then the demon is on your right, and the mezuzah is on your left. Right. So it's like this. It all goes back about it all goes by the person, right? The left and right, I should say like this, left and right are subjective to each and every person. Even though there is a concept of absolute left and absolute right that we know, if Mizrach is Kedem, forward, so Dorom is Yamin, and that's why south is always Chesed, and Safon is left, right? North is left, and that's why Miat Safon Tipatach Harot, Safon is Dinim, right? And the HR is called the Tzfoni. Right? It's true that there is an absolute right and left on the map, as it were. South is right, and that's why in the South we have a great governor like Governor DeSantis. South is right, and North, like the Northeast, that's why those states are liberal, leftists, right? I'm kidding, but not really. Okay, but Lamasa, there's in that general sense, if you're going by the globe, but every individual has its right side and his left side, and his goodness is on his right, wherever his right is, and the stuff that he has to be afraid of is on his left. So Zohar saying, your goodness, the goodness of every individual, it goes by that individual's right side and left side, as the Zohar explains. Yesh Shnei Malachim. There are two angels. There's one angel. Everyone has two angels. One angel is on your right, and that angel is also your Yetzer Atov, right? Yeah. It's your Yetzer Atov. And you have one angel on your left side, and he is a bad angel. I mean, now it sounds like, I rely on him, and he was a Gadol B'Yisrael, and I rely on his translation. And I did not look up this Zohar in the original, but it sounds like something very interesting that could explain a lot. Your good guardian angel on your right is also Yetzer Tov. And, and probably that's why the Yetzer Tov is not as effective, not as influential as the Yetzer Ra. It sounds like he's on the outside. He's to your right, but he's like on outside if you're on the right. On your left, you have your bad angel, right? But it doesn't say that the bad angel is the Yetzer Hara. You have a Yetzer Hara inside of you also, which surely aligned with the bad angel. But that's what it sounds like. The Yetzer Tov is not inside the person like the Yetzer Hara is, which we kind of know from experience. That's what it sounds like for the Zohar. As the Zohar says, as he brings it, as he translates it. So you have your good angel that's on your right side is your Yetzer Tov, and you have on your left side an angel who is bad. Okay. So when a person goes out of his house, it's like, the shade, right? That is stationed on the left side, opposite, the mezuzah, right? So now he sees that it from the vantage point of the shade, if he is on the outside looking in, and he views his station as the left, right? And you're walking out, and he sees that his buddy right? His buddy, like your bad angel, is on your left side, which is opposite him. Is that he and the shade views his position at the left post as left, right? It's his position is that he's stationed there looking in, and he sees now his buddy, his fellow bad angel, is on the opposite side, which to the shade is the bad angel's on the right. I'm on the left, which is my station. The other bad angel, my buddy, is on my right. Right, so he sees the Yetzer Hara, right? Over here, it sounds like the bad angel is the Yetzer Hara also, just like the good angel is the Yetzer Hara Tov. That's what it sounds like from what we just read. Because the shade sees the Yetzer Hara as on the right side, and this demon is on the left side. So Gam Kelach Vinid Bakbo, right? So now he said, I got to join my buddy who's on the opposing side, right? So the demon leaves his post on the left to join his buddy, the bad angel, who's on the right of a guy leaving the house. All right, we're both sides of the mezuzah, but he finds himself now on the same side as the mezuzah. So he joins his buddy. The bad angel is on the guy's left, and the guy's leaving the house. So the guy's left is on the same side as the mezuzah. So now he's neutralized by the mezuzah. He's neutralized by the mezuzah, right? Right. So he's neutralized by the mezuzah. So that's a warning, says the Zohar. Don't poop and don't have any dirt, at the gateway of your house where the mezuzah is. And don't even put out bad water there. Something smelly that would not allow you to learn Torah. Or something was smelly that would be a desecration of the divine name, right? The fish lays out because you should not in any way denigrate the glory of heaven, which is there at the opening because of the mezuzah. But not only that, if you would transgress it, and let's say you would have poop there, or do anything that's a desecration of the divine name there, so then that would neutralize the power of the mezuzah, and then the demon would be able to hurt you. Now, God forbid. Yeah. All right. So now he brings another Zohar in connection to the same topic. Because of the same drawing, and also seemingly the same parsha, Zohar Reish Samach Vav Amid Alf Reish Samach Vav Amid Alf. Whenever the angels of the avenging angels of affliction come to the opening of the house of a man. Zokvi name Roim Sham Shakai b'Petzach u'Barachim. They see the shame Shakai Shin Daled Yud, that's on the outside of mezuzah, and they run away. V'im Torah, you might ask, Im Kein Yichtov B'Sva B'Petach Shem Shakai Bovad. If the name Shakai alone scares them away, so what do you need the rest of the mezuzah? The Parsha Shema B'Im Shema. Just write Shakai, and that's it. Why need the whole Parsha Shema? Yesh Lomar, so says the Zohar, you can answer. Shem Shakai V'Abrash, you have to write both, the name Shakai and the Parsha of Shema. Shaz Mit'atra Melch V'Yotze B'Chol, because then it's called the king is adorned and goes out with all his armies. And it goes with Shem Shakai Keneged V'Haya Shebifnim, and that's why you have the name Shakai outside. And parallel to Shem Shakai is the Parsha of Vayim Shemoah inside. That is to be protected both inside and outside. All right, so basically, you don't just need protection on the outside; you need protection on the inside. Like I'm just guessing, what's stopping them coming in through the window? Let's say, even though it's not the conventional way to get in. You need protection on the inside also. So the inner parshas of the mezuzah, Shema is for protection bifnim, and the Shem Shakai is the protection outside. You need both. The king doesn't come out except when surrounded by his armies, right? So you need both the outside and the inside to have the full effect. That's called the king with all his armies is coming to protect you, both outside and inside, from anything that may penetrate the house through any alternate way. Okay. Let's do one more. Lamed Beis. We are still still talking about mezuzah. Right, this is the last entry on mezuzah before he starts talking about Birkas Hamazon. Also very helpful. You could see why he collated these zars. These are things everyone should know because they pertain to the mitzvahs that everyone does. Okay, so this is the last entry on mezuzah. Because I'll say for Dvorim, Reish Samach Zav. So this is the next Amud, next daf in the Zohar. Chel Gimel Reish Samach Zayin Amud Av, right in the Zohar Dvorim, Zohar Chel Shlishi Daf Reish Samach Zayin Amud Av. Kizar Ruach Hashore Bapetach, like the spirit that dwells at the opening house. Yeshel Shasa Shamashim Kaminim Osachama. That spirit has 365, lackeys, underlings, calls it shamashim, servants, that, 365 parallel to all the days on the solar calendar. And each one of these lackeys of that evil spirit has his day on the solar calendar. It's his day to just prosecute against the guy night and day of his day. Right, the halachic day is 24 hours. He gets the night and the day of his day. It's his turn to prosecute against the occupant of the house. Contrary also, now it goes now, generally speaking, they're prosecuting against you, but it's like this. During the day, it's just prosecution. Right, Hashem, don't give this guy a good day. There should be a lousy day for him. All right, but at night, they give you nightmares. They cause you pain in your dreams. So if you're nightmare prone, check your mezuzahs, man. Check your mezuzahs. So now you go in and out of your the opening of your house. They put their hands on the guy's head and give him a curse. Woe to man who has now left the domain of his master. Therefore, be careful, very careful with the mitzvah. Right. Be very careful with the mitzvah mezuzah, because the mezuzah doesn't just protect you, when you go in, it also protects you on your way out. Cross references with the other Zohar, right? So, because at the opening of your house, you have all these makachkim there, right there to curse you and prosecute against you. Be very careful with the mitzvah of mezuzah for your protection. It seems that from what we're learning over here is that what we seem to be learning over here is that if you're nightmare prone, you should check your mezuzahs. Oh, by the way, the dogs, they see the shade and they're all over here. God help us. All right, God help us. All right, we'll stop here for this session.